So here is our dummy fetus, which is in the left occipito-transverse position. This position is the commonest position which is assumed by the fetus. So the sagittal suture will correspond to the transverse diameter of the pelvic inlet, and the occiput, being the denominator, will lie in the left quadrant. So in this case the lie is longitudinal, there is cephalic presentation, the presenting part will be the vertex, denominator as said before is the occiput, and the attitude is that of flexion. So the first cardinal movement that takes place is engagement. During engagement, the engaging diameter of the fetal dimension would be the suboccipitobregmatic. However, since full flexion is not attained, it is usually the suboccipitofrontal. So, and the diameter of engagement, which is the maternal dimension, is the transverse diameter of the pelvic inlet. So here we can see that engagement has taken place. So after engagement, we need to discuss about a condition called asynclitism. So synclitism is a condition in which the sagittal suture is in perfect line with the transverse diameter of the pelvic inlet. This is fairly rare. What is more common is asynclitism, that is, the sagittal suture is parallel and is either anterior or posterior. So if it is anteriorly placed, the posterior parietal bone becomes the leading part. This is called posterior asynclitism and is more common in primigravida. If the sagittal suture is posterior to that of the transverse diameter of the inlet, then the anterior parietal bone becomes the leading part. This is known as anterior asynclitism and is more common in case of multigravida. So the next cardinal movement is descent. Descent continues all throughout the process, and descent is uninterrupted till the head reaches the pelvic floor, the direction of which is forwards, medially and towards the midline. This forces the next cardinal movement to take place, that is the internal rotation. So the goal of internal rotation is that the occiput, which is the denominator, should come from here to here, that is in the posterior aspect, just behind the posterior aspect of the symphysis pubis. To achieve this, the occiput must undergo a rotation of 2/8 of a circle. However, we know that the neck can move only 1/8 of a circle independent of the shoulder. The next 1/8 of a circle is achieved by movement of the shoulder and neck together. So at the end of internal rotation, the occiput lies just behind the symphysis pubis. The sagittal suture lies in the anteroposterior plane, and the biacromial diameter of the shoulder lies in correspondence with the left oblique diameter, that is from here to here. Next up, we find the next movement, which is crowning, but this is not a cardinal movement. So crowning means that the maximum transverse diameter, which in this case is the biparietal diameter, appears through the vulva and does not retract with the uterine contractions. However, again I am mentioning that this is not a cardinal movement. Following this, the occiput hinges under the symphysis pubis and the head is borne by extension. So during extension, the first to come out is the vertex, then is the brow, then is the face, and lastly the chin or the mentum. So after this, the head falls down, facing towards the perineum of the mother. Then there is a movement known as restitution. So as you can see from here, that the neck and the shoulder are not in line. So restitution puts them back in line. So after restitution, the movement occurs is 1/8 of a circle in the opposite direction of internal rotation, and now the shoulder and the neck are in line with each other, and the face of the baby now faces towards the right thigh, partially. Now is the delivery of the shoulders. The delivery of the shoulders will occur, but only when the anterior shoulder comes behind the symphysis pubis. To achieve this, the trunk accompanying the shoulder must turn by 1/8 of a circle, which will lead to 1/8 turning of the neck as well, which will manifest outside as external rotation, which is the next cardinal movement. So descent would continue and the anterior shoulder would appear through the vulva first, then by lateral flexion, the next to be delivered would be the posterior shoulder, then the trunk, the legs, and finally in the third stage, placenta.